Hello and welcome to episode 12 of my show, The Designed Self. So what is The Designed Self? The Designed Self is a show about design and about designing yourself. It's about the most important design project of your life, which is you. So I'm going to teach you about design best practices. I'm Elliot Lemberger. I'm a Silicon Valley product designer. I designed the breakthrough experience of the Ring video doorbell. I basically helped shape the Ring video doorbell over 7 years. I was in charge of design at Tesla for a couple years until basically I got fired for being too creative. Sorry, Elon. I've got an imagination and I like to use it. And now I run an agency called Scale, where I teach teams how to create breakthrough products in a way that flows naturally and effortlessly, because the way that you do your best work is by getting into alignment, getting into harmony with forces of creativity. The way you do your best work is by getting inspired and doing things that you've never done before in ways that you've never done them. You don't do your best work through repetitive processes. So I teach a framework and I help teams embody a process that is about inviting serendipity into the process. Isn't that cool? Because the way that you do your best work is you create structures that allow for creativity, maximum creativity, but which point that creativity in a direction that's going to achieve meaningful results to your business. So that's what I teach. That's what my method's all about. That's what I'm going to be teaching you in this show, is how to think of design, how to approach design in a way that is going to allow you to create transformative products. I'm going to use anecdotes from creating the Ring video doorbell, from creating products at Tesla. I worked in advertising for 15 years and art-directed campaigns for all the big companies, Sony, Nike, big entertainment companies, Oprah Winfrey Network. Basically, all these huge companies learned a lot about how to craft messaging that grabbed attention and went around the world. And that was what I brought when I joined Ring and helped spread the word and understanding of what that product was around the world. But anyway, I'm going to teach you how to create great designs, and I'm going to teach you about personal reinvention, because the best design you're going to produce is going to change your life. And that's one of the premises of this show, is that our best work is about transformation. And when we created the Ring video doorbell, one of the things we knew is that in order to make this product, and it was the same thing I did at Tesla, in order to make any product transformational, you have to be clear on what the end result is. And I'm going to teach about 5 principles of effective design. And so in the show, and we'll review these every time. And so the first one is, you have to be clear on where you want to go. If you want to design an effective product, successful product, you have to get clear on what is the destination. Where do you want to take people? And what I was saying, from my own journey and any products I've ever created that have been successful, it has been about creating something where you're clear on the transformation. But here's what's important. It's not just about the features. It's not just about helping someone be able to see who's at their front door when they're not home. That's just a feature. That's not what you're actually selling. Your product isn't the hardware. It's not your brand. Your product is the change you produce in customers. Your product, the core value of your product is the way that you influence your customers to see the world differently. And at Ring, the reason Ring was successful is because we understood that what we were selling wasn't a video doorbell, it was a transformation. And our product transformed people's relationship to technology. People don't realize this. We were the first globally adopted connected device. We paved the way for the rest of that industry to exist because we created the first product in that space that started to change people's relationship with technology. People had never had a device in their home. Ooh, I see a fox. Look at this. Oh, I can't change the camera angle. Oh, no, sorry. It's a jackrabbit. It's a huge jackrabbit. Oh my gosh, it's the biggest jackrabbit I've ever seen. I thought it was a fox because its ears are sticking straight up. Oh, a little frog. It's a day of many animal messengers. I just walked by a rabbit too. Oh, there goes the jackrabbit. I wish I could show him to you. He's so cool. So where was I? The point was that we created a product that produced a deeper transformation in people. It changed people's relationship to technology. People were intimidated by technology. People wanted security at their home. People wanted technology. And one of the other things is there were a lot of older people, retirees who want, with their iPads, who feel all savvy because they were in innovative fields. So there's a lot of old people in the world. Sorry if that's a derogatory. Old is not a derogatory term. There are a lot of elderly people in the world, a lot of retirees who, in one way or another, were very innovative in their own careers. And we kind of overlook this because their careers weren't about silicon and microprocessors or whatever, but who had careers where they were innovators. There's always been innovators in every era. And so there's a whole group of, and this is one of the secrets, I guess I'm giving you, that we identified this at Ring, is that there's a whole cohort of older people in the world, especially retirees who, like, A, they have a lot of expendable income, but B, who think of themselves as innovators and love technology, but what we saw was that no one had created a connected device that made any kind of sense to them. And so our goal was to make them feel relevant, to help them see technology in a new way. And so I'll kind of talk more about this as I synthesize my own thoughts around that, because I think it's a really important topic to unpack, and I think it's something a lot of people don't really think about. But the key, the bottom line, is thinking about what is the deeper transformation that your products produce if you want to create a breakthrough product, and knowing that the deeper transformation is about changing how someone sees the world. Okay? And how do you change how you see the world? You change how you see yourself. And so, again, we created a product that changed people's relationship with technology. And by doing that, it made them feel empowered. And so guess what happened? They told all their friends about it. They said, you got to get this thing, because when a product transforms someone, they want to share that wealth. If you have something change your life, you listen to an album that changes your life, or you go to a new restaurant in your town that's the best place that blows your mind, you're going to want to tell other people, because it becomes a signal. You want to be associated with something. So your goal is to create products and create product experiences, whether that's a product you design or yourself, that are so effective that the people who use them want to tell everyone else in their life about them. So think about that. And so the core piece of that is, what is the transformation that what you are creating produces? What's on the other end? Okay? And again, the core of that is, what are you helping someone see about themselves that sorry, I was making sure my mic hadn't fallen off and been eaten by the jackrabbit. But yeah, the key is, who are they on the other side of that? And here's the other key that I think a lot of people overlook, is who are you on the other side of it? Because that was the other thing we were always aware of at Ring, was that in order to get to the next stage, we had a very aggressive CEO who drove us very hard. And we all learned a ton through that process, because he kept pushing us to step into the next version of yourself. Who are you? Who are you going to be next? Who are you becoming? That was our ethos. We knew that to scale a company quickly, that we had to scale personally. And if you want to build something powerful in the world, you have to yourself transform. And again, I started talking about that earlier. This is one of the core principles of the show, is that in doing your best work, you have to transform in the process. And I smile because that's an exciting prospect. Your life's work, the most meaningful work that you're meant to do in your life, is work where you're going to transform in the process of doing that work, because you're going to put all of yourself into it. You're going to do things that you didn't think you could do previously. And so maybe there's some beliefs that are gonna change in that process. Maybe your own beliefs about reality are going to shift, right? If you went and you created a breakthrough product tomorrow that reached around the world, that changed the world in ways that you always dreamed of doing, and maybe this is the first time you've ever done it, or maybe you do it again when you thought that your best days were behind you, tell me something. Is that gonna change the way you see yourself? 100%. That's what we all want, is to experience continuous transformation and growth. We're here to grow, and a lot of us become stagnant and we just get into repetitive ways of being and operating. And that's where I talk about what my process is designed to do. Is like, yes, it's a framework. There's a structure, there's a framework that you will go through every time that you do your work. However, the structure is designed to help you arrive at the serendipity, because that's where the breakthroughs happen. But you need to know how to point yourself in the right direction so that those breakthroughs happen, and so that when they do happen, your creativity and your best ideas are pointing at your most valuable problems and coming up with ways of solving them that no one else is thinking of. Because guess what? There's ways of solving the problems in front of you that no one else is thinking of. And when you come up with those unique, innovative, creative ideas, you can change the world. That's where magic's gonna happen. Your best ideas are ideas that you haven't had yet. And here's another thing. Steve Jobs talked about how innovation really is not about creating something that's never existed before, as much as it's about putting together things that no one has ever thought of putting together in the way that you can, like a phone and an MP3 player. They were both things that existed. Apple just put them together in a new way. And so your greatest innovations, your greatest ideas are going to come through putting things together in ways that you hadn't even thought of. But the important thing about that is that it's going to be about putting things together in ways that are so kind of blindly obvious, you'll be like, wow, why didn't I think of that before? And that's the key, because most of us are just grinding so hard. We think that what we want is on the other side of just pushing ourselves to our limits and staring at a screen until our eyes bleed. It's why I'm out on a hiking trail, because this is where I have my best ideas. And I encourage you to do the same. And part of my method, by the way, I get teams out and we hike together. That's one of my favorite parts of the job, because we all know it, right? You're working hard on something, you're trying to come up with that idea, and then when do you finally have the idea? When you're taking a whiz, or when you're in the shower, or when you finally left to go pick up your kid from whatever, that's when you have that idea, because you relieved the pressure. So you have to take the pressure off of yourself. You have to get clear on your intentions, know where you're going, lay the groundwork, and then release the pressure. And so that's why we hike. It's my favorite part of the job. And so the thing I want to leave you with, I'll leave you with the 5 requirements of a great product. Again, I'm still early on this show. I'm still figuring out what I'm going to talk about here, how I'm going to approach it. But I'm having fun. I hope you've had fun hanging out. They're going to get better with every episode as I figure it out. Because part of creating an effective product is about iteration, about putting something out in the world, getting clear on what you want to do, get something out in the world, get it out there soon, don't wait too long. And then learn. Every time you put something out, learn how to make it better. 5 requirements of a great product. Number 1, you have to be clear on the destination. Where's this product meant to take someone? And where do you want to go as a result of having created it? Get clear on that. Number 2, is, I forgot number 2, I'm just kidding. So number 2 is you have to be able to see the path. You have to be able to see the path. You can have the most outrageous idea in the world, but how are you going to execute it? And here's the important thing. Know that it's kind of like a sketch. The map that you chart at the beginning is a sketch. Don't get attached to it. So sketch out an idea of like, this is a way we could get to that end result that I see. However, here's what you've got to remember is that there are an infinite number of ways to arrive at your goals. And the best way you're going to arrive there is going to be inspired. I thought it was a coyote. I didn't know what it was in front of me, but it's just a deer. Okay. So number 1 is, where do you want to take people? What's the destination of your product for your end user and for you? Number 2 is, what's the path as you see it today? What's the path that you can see to that end result? So you have to be able to see a path. Number 3 is you have to know what the deeper transformation is. What is the deeper transformation of your product? What's the deeper transformation you want your customers to experience? What's the deeper transformation you want to experience? And that's different than number 1. I said number 1, you have to see where you're going. So you're defining sort of the surface level transformation. But number 3 is about, you have to know what the deeper transformation is. But most importantly, you have to personally experience it. You have to find a way to experience the deeper transformation. And that's where you have to get creative. That could come through going out in the world and talking to your customers. And then number 4, you have to have inspired action. Doing your best work isn't about just continuing to do things the way that you've always done them, and that enough hard work is going to eventually lead you to an incredible breakthrough. Now you have to have inspired action. That's what my process will help lead you towards. And then number 5 is you have to be yourself. To be yourself. If you want to do your best work, you have to be a version of you that you enjoy being, that comes naturally to you, that's not about you trying to act in some way that doesn't feel authentic. So that's it. That's episode 12, I believe. This is The Design Self. It's a show about design and reinvention and the most important design project of your life, which is yourself. Because when you do your best work, you transform in the act of doing your best work. And the most important design project you could ever work on is yourself, because we all have the potential to design ourselves, to decide who we want to be in the world, to shape the type of impact we want to have and how we want to have it. This is episode 12. Thanks for tuning in. Please say hi in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow for episode 13.